Bojo Knalia, a Pegish Imnoya Pana. We here at Nishnaabemwin in Nipissing and Wang believe peer review is an important process in the education process. However, due to lack of speaker accessibility, scheduling, and these lessons being produced by second language learners, we tend to make mistakes in how Nishnaabemwin is represented. We encourage you to think with a critical mind when watching our videos and question the validity of something said in the video that catches your attention. We are language learners and naturally don't know what we don't know. We don't discourage others from helping us out by educating us, and if you see a mistake you would like us to rectify, you can do so by contacting the email in the video description. We also ask for your patience in waiting for edits, because it is a long process to edit mistakes we share in our videos, and there is the possibility that it might not align with the speakers of Nipissing First Nation. Miigwech Bisinduyang, Wewehenab Nawamdamuk.
On in Bojo Kanalia, Mr. McLeod Mondayamina, Bajinaka Queen Ween Monim. I just want to let you guys know that links to the dictionary, PDFs to the worksheet, audio files are in links in the description of this video, as well as any other resources that'll help you out with this lesson will eventually be there as soon as I'm done making them. Aho, miigwech.
On in Bojo, Mr. McLeod Mondayamina. And today's lesson is on VTA A-form negative inflections, part niche. So today we're forming negative sentences with our VTA words. Previously in Nishnaabemwin, in previous lessons, we learned how to inflect our VTA words to interact between first person singular, me, second person singular, you, third person singular, she or he, and fourth person, third person's animate stuff. We broke up our inflection into two parts. Part basic was our pronoun prefixes. For third person singular, she or he. N for first person singular, I or me. And g for second person singular, you. Part niche covered our directional suffixes, a and ig. Our a suffix communicates that action is coming from our pronoun prefix. That's either third person singular, she or he, second person singular, you, or first person singular, me. Our ig suffix communicates that action is being directed towards our pronoun prefixes, either by third person singular, she or he, or fourth person, third person's animate stuff. When third person singular is acting with fourth person, we use an additional n suffix at the end of our directional suffixes to mark who is acting on whom. On, third person is acting on fourth person. Egon, third person is being acted upon by fourth person. Certain VTA enders will morph when specific suffixes are added, so we'll be on the lookout for those as well. As always, when adding suffixes, second last consonant rule is in effect and should be applied to our VTA words when adding our suffixes, a, ig, etc. We also covered grammatical agreements, tense markers, question particles, adverbs, and grammar patterns to facilitate multi-clause sentences. All those grammatical aspects will be used and practiced throughout the remainder of the course and its work. Here's the point for you to write down your notes before moving on. Make sure to write it down before we move to the next slide. Miskoye ambe. So here we have the sign up, meaning you should write these down before moving on to the next slide. Negation review. Negation is simply our way of incorporating the word not into our sentences. Just like in previous A-form negation lessons, we will be starting negative and ending negative. Starting negative
means we will be using some variation of the word no in Ojibwe. That's either gawin, gone, ka, and other dialects will use other variations. Ending negative means we're going to end our verbs with the appropriate negative suffix. We'll give you a chance to pause here in the video to write these down in your notes before moving on. Miskoye, ambe. So we still have the sign up, meaning that you should write these points down too before we move on to the next slide. For most negative A-form VTA inflections, this means we will be incorporating the negative suffix C immediately after our directional suffix. We need to use both the word for no, gawin, gone, and ka, and our negative suffix C in the same sentence to express a negative VTA interaction. Starting negative and ending negative is another example of grammatical agreement where we use multiple grammar constructs to express one concept. In this lesson, that's negation or negativity. We'll give you a chance to pause the video here to write these points down in your notes before we move on to the next slide. Iske, ambe. Going from gawabama amos, you see the moose. Here we put it into a negative inflection. Gan gawabama si amos, you do not see the moose. Here we're incorporating our question particle na into the translation. Gan gawabama si amos, you do not see the moose. Here we are incorporating an adverb and also a grammar pattern into our translation. Gan gawabama si amos, you still don't see the moose. And here we are incorporating a tense marker into our translation. You still don't want to see the moose? Lesson itinerary. In today's lesson, we'll be dividing it up into 4 sections, explaining the grammatical concepts needed in order of their appearance in an A-form negative VTA inflection. First section will be a review of pronoun prefixes. Second section will be another review of directional suffixes. Third section will cover when and how to incorporate our negative suffix to complete our negative grammatical agreement. Fourthly, we will then cover the 4th person additional suffix for our 3rd to 4th person and 4 to 3rd inflections. We will then go over a collection of paradigms that demonstrate how to inflect our VTA model words so the knowledge can be applied to other similarly categorized VTA words in our dictionary. And finally, we'll end with a summary. Part basic, pronoun prefixes. How to use our and g prefixes to include she or he and you into our VTA inflections. Pronoun prefixes. All of our established rules and practices from previous lessons regarding pronoun prefixes are practiced in the same manner this lesson. Basic is the 3rd person singular, she or he, but it will generally be de-stressed, only evident in present tense inflections if the verb starts with a vowel sound, and even then, the D prefix will essentially be used in place of the O prefix. Grammatically, what we understand, Odane meyan ininwan kwe, the woman is giving the man heck. What we practice in text and speech, Da meyan ininwan kwe, the woman is giving the man heck. So here we can see that the O is stressed in our sentence. As vowel syncopators, we often de-stress this sound, and then so we won't pronounce the O, but the D will be evident that the O is there. Here are the points for you to write down in your notes before we move on to the next slide. Make sure to pause the video here and write these down. Miskoye, ambe. Here we have the sign up, meaning that you should write down all these points before moving on to the next slide. Niche. Ge will represent second person singular. You. In front of our tense markers, extended pronoun, or verbs. Swe. D prefix needs to be incorporated in between the pronoun prefixes and the verbs if tense markers are absent and the verb starts with a vowel sound. Newin. Do. Extended pronoun needs to be incorporated in between the pronoun prefixes and the verbs if tense markers are absent and the verb starts with either the same sound as the pronoun prefix or has a cluster of consonant sounds at the beginning of the verb. We'll give you a chance to pause the video here and write these points down in your notes before moving on. Miskoye ambe. Part nij. Directional suffixes. Using our I and in suffixes to direct action. Directing who is acting on whom. When we use the I suffix, it means action is coming from our pronoun prefix. G blank I, you are acting on me. When we attach the suffix in, it means action is being directed towards our pronoun prefix. G blank in, you are being acted on by me. Part swe. Negative suffixes. Using our si and sn suffixes to express negation. Directing who is acting on whom. And we have the sign up, meaning that you should write down all these points before moving on. When we attach the I suffix, it means action is coming from our pronoun prefix. Gon, g, verb, isi, you are not acting on me. When we attach the suffix in, it means action is being directed towards our pronoun prefix. Gon, g, blank, is known means you are not being acted on by me. We'll give you a chance to pause here in the video to write these down in your notes before moving on. Miskoye ambe. Model VTA words and negative paradigms. So here we have the sign up, meaning you should write these down before moving on. For our M enders, we're going to use the example gnawabum, look at him or her. Gongadok nawab missy, you are not looking at me. Gongadok nawab miss known, you are not being looked at by me. For our glottal stop enders, we have in be, put him or her to bed, and shke, anger him or her, and zage, love him or her, or be stingy with him or her. Ka gado and be si, you are not putting me to bed. Ka gado and shke si, you are not angering me. Ka gazage si, you do not love me. Ka gado and be is known, you are not being put to bed by me. Ka gado and shke is known, you are not being angered by me. Ka gazage is known, you are not loved by me. We'll give you a chance to pause the video here and write these down in your notes before moving on. Miskoye ambe. Kidin is our N-ender example, and it means allow someone, let someone go, or release someone. Kagdop kidnesi, you are not letting go of me. Kagdop kidnes known, you are not being let go of by me. Our dummy N-ender is no swaj, and means follow him or her. Kag no swaj si, you are not following me. Kag no swan is known, you are not being followed by me. We'll give you a chance to pause the video here to write these down in your notes before moving on. Miskoye ambe. For our AW enders, we're using mkao, find him or her. Kagado mkwisi, you are not finding me. Kagado mkwisnon, you are not being found by me. Our fused W ender, we're using no, point at him or her. Kagidinowisi, you are not pointing at me. Kagdinowisnon, you are not being pointed at by me. We'll give you a chance here to pause the video here and write these down in your notes before moving on. Miskoye, ambe. Part Nipissing, fourth person suffixes, using our N suffix for third to fourth and fourth to third inflections. Directing who is acting on whom. And we have the sign up, meaning that you should write these down before moving on to the next slide. When we attach the a suffix, it means action is coming from our pronoun prefix. Gone, VTA word, and then seen means she or he is not acting on fourth person, someone else. When we attach the suffix ig, it means action is directed at our pronoun prefix. Gone, VTA word, and then ig seen means she or he is not being acted upon by fourth person or the other. We'll give you a chance to pause the video here and write these down in your notes before moving on. Miskoye, ambe. Model VTA words and negative paradigms. So we have the sign up, meaning you should write these down before moving on to the next slide. For our M enders, we're going to use chim, talk about him or her. Kachamasin ikwewanene. The man is not talking about the woman. Kachamigsin ikwewanene. The man is not being talked about by the woman. For our glottal stop enders, we have mkojie, tease him or her. Anme, give someone heck. Bape, laugh at someone. Ka mikoji yasin ikwewanene. The man is not teasing the woman. Ka dami yasin ibibi san nene. The man is not giving the baby heck. Ka papa sin ikwewanene. The man is not laughing at the woman. Ka mikoji yigsin ikwewanene. The man is not being teased by the woman. Ka danmigsin ibibi san nene. The man is not being given heck by the baby. Ka bapigsin ikwewanene. The man is not being laughed at by the woman. We'll give you a chance here to pause the video and write these down in your notes before moving on. Miskoye, ambe. For our N enders, we're using the example pkedin, release, allow, or let go of someone. Kapkid na seen is spinene. The man is not letting go of the rope. Kapkid nig seen is spinene. The man is not being let go of by the rope. For our dummy N enders, we're using the example no swaj, follow him or her. Ka no swanasin emozon mkwa. The bear is not following the moose. Ka no swanig sin emozon mkwa. The bear is not being followed by the moose. We'll give you a chance here to pause the video and write these down in your notes before moving on. Miskoye, ambe. So we still have the sign up, meaning you should write these down before moving on to the next slide. For our AW enders, we're using bazindao, listen to him or her. Ka bzindwa sin ebibi san kwe. The woman is not listening to the baby. Ka bzindog sin ebibi san kwe. The woman is not being listened to by the baby. For our fused W enders, we're using the example no, point at or to him or her. Ka dinowa sin ebibi san nene. The man is not pointing at the baby. Ka dinowig sin ebibi san nene. The man is not being pointed at by the baby. We'll give you a chance to pause here in the video to write these down in notes before moving on. Miskoye ambe. Lesson recap. Starting negative and ending negative is another example of grammatical agreement where we need multiple grammar constructs to express one concept. In this lesson, that's negation or negativity. When we attach the suffix I, it means actions coming from our pronoun prefix. Ganga blank isi. You are not acting on me. When we attach the suffix in, it means action is being directed at our pronoun prefix. Ganga blank is known. You are not being acted on by me. When articulating negative interactions between third person singular and fourth person, we used a de-stressed O prefix and an additional N suffix as our fourth person marker, after the negative suffix C. When we attach the suffix a, it means action is coming from our pronoun prefix. Gone, blank, seen. She or he is not acting on someone else. When we attach the suffix ig, it means action is directed at our pronoun prefix. Gone, blank, ig, seen. She or he is not being acted upon by someone else. VTA enders will morph when certain suffixes are added, so we'll need to be aware of those from the paradigm section of this lesson. In our work going forward, we'll also be incorporating grammatical agreements, tense markers, question particles, adverbs, and grammar patterns to facilitate multi-clause sentences. Because those aspects are not affected by negation and could elicit more natural patterns of speech than just plain present tense E-form negative sentences. Misa gekpiaja, that is finally it for now.